I studied in Azhar Sharif in Beirut. I studied in Azhar Sharif in Beirut.
Did you hear that, Muslims?
And I want to turn it over to you, Brother Kamal, to maybe give your perspective on the importance of this campaign that ABN is holding.
Well, this is one of the most important to the life of the United States of America, because our media today is not telling us the truth. Our media out there is bought by Islamic dollars, like Prince bin Talal, he's buying CNN, even Fox News, he's buying everything, So when they talk bad about Fox News, the majority stockholders is Muslims, are Muslims. So with this, what happened is they are trying to subdue the truth, and it's important to have ABN out there in our America to bring us the truth that many people are not talking about. The truth of the invasion, what's taking place into the American, our culture being invaded from academia, from media, from corporate United States of America, and many other things. Let's talk about the truth. The millions of Muslims coming to Christ all over the world. Over 60 million Muslims came to Christ last year. 60 million. 1/4 of Indonesia is Christian today. In Iran, 17 million came to Christ this year alone. It's happening in Saudi Arabia. Over 800 churches underground. The people are just, this is the things that America need to know about.
Absolutely. So we encourage you to keep ABN.
We need you, America, to step forward and say, today I will stand on the wall, because that's maybe how you can help advance truth. Maybe you are dumb on purpose, trying to be dumb on purpose just to cover this, and is not different from many other people who are not rich people.
Did you hear that, Muslims?
Is not different from many other people who are not rich people.
Did you hear that, Muslims?
Wonderful. Why don't you tell us why you became a Christian? Because you guys are on opposite sides.
Mine was tangible. It was not based on hate or discrimination or what happened to my culture or to my people or to my nation or to my religion. Because, I didn't have excuse, to blame things on. Mine was specifically, I grew up, my cousin is the Grand Mufti. I studied in Lebanon under my cousin, the Grand Mufti. He is the head of Islam, the one who declared Khalifa. My mother is an Ottoman Turk. My family were Zealot Islamists, and we were leading the charge. I was a Muslim Brotherhood until 1985. I was a head cell leader, and I was a big rank in the PLO, and I came to the United States of America led by the finances of the Saudi government. The Saudis sent me to America for this purpose, to bring the war to the United States of America streets. So I came here to fight, and as I'm fighting, we went to the jail system. We recruited a lot of people, that right there we told them about, you've been oppressed, you've been enslaved, this culture enslaved you, and we came here to change you. So I was changing many people in that direction, just feeding more hate, more lies about what I came with.
Did you hear that, Muslims?
Is not different from many other people who are not rich people.
Did you hear that, Muslims?
Religion. I came from this religion. I came from this religion, and I know what it was. I fought for Islam all my life, all my childhood, every place, from Tora Bora, from Lebanon, killing the Christians, to Russia, you name it. You lived in America. Maybe you are dumb on purpose, trying to be dumb on purpose just to cover this. And
in my childhood, we were trained by Russians, by the Soviet Union, KGB, with our teachers, and we were learning how to hate. We were taught how to hate Christians and Zionists. Hood was forefront runner for Al Saud, and this is when everything started. And so I was sent to England, and in England, in the UK, over there, we found the English civilization falling apart. They worship bigger gods at the pubs and at the soccer field, and we realized that they have no life in their churches. You know, as a matter of fact, we were buying their churches left and right and convert them to mosques by the Saudis' money. And then from there, I went to Tora Bora to teach the Mujahideen how to shoot heat-seeking missiles. And then from there, I went to Tora Bora to teach the Mujahideen how to shoot heat-seeking missiles. And then from there, I went to Tora Bora to teach the Mujahideen how to shoot heat-seeking missiles. And from there, I was, after I, left the place, but nobody did anything. So I sent my report. I said we could not defeat America on this ground because they're already sold out. So the report came back as we're moving you, and this we're gonna try to move you to the United States of America. And from there, I came in the early '80s. Specifically to the United States of America for that purpose, the infiltration, to bring about the new peaceful order of the Muslim Brotherhood. And from there, I know about, Arif Hakim, about, most of these guys, and, Muhammad Akram. I heard them and worked with them. We spoke side by side at some time. And we spoke about all this. We even told the FBI who they are. American soldiers, the training of the NSA, the training of the CIA and FBI.
Religion. I came from this religion. I came from this religion, and I know what it was. I fought for Islam all my life, all my childhood, every place, from Tora Bora, from Lebanon, killing the Christians, to Russia, you name it. You lived in America. Good thing is, I studied in Azhar Sharif in Beirut. I studied in Azhar Sharif in Beirut.
Did you hear that, Muslims?
I studied in Azhar Sharif in Beirut. I studied in Azhar Sharif in Beirut.
Did you hear that, Muslims?
I studied in Azhar Sharif in Beirut. I studied in Azhar Sharif in Beirut.
Did you hear that, Muslims?
Now, Kamal, your book, The Blood of Lambs, describes how, at the age of 7, you dropped out of school, and give us a little bit of a picture of what that was like for you.
I was made to drop out of school. It was not my choice, and I was made to drop out of school. It was not my choice, and good thing is, I studied in Azhar Sharif in Beirut. I studied in Azhar Sharif in Beirut.
Did you hear that, Muslims?
Now, at the age of 7, you dropped out of school, and
I studied in Azhar Sharif in Beirut. I studied in Azhar Sharif in Beirut.
Did you hear that, Muslims?
Now, at the age of 7, you dropped out of school, and
I studied in Azhar Sharif in Beirut. I studied in Azhar Sharif in Beirut.
Did you hear that, Muslims?
And by the age of 10, I recited the Quran 3 times,
Oh, man.
from end to end.
Hafiz.
Yes, أنا كنت حافظ
Oh,
الكريم. the I was reciting the book with my mom, and she was teaching from Surah Al-Zilzula. Which is the earthquake. And it says, فَمَنْ يَعْمَلَ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَهُ وَمَنْ يَعْمَلَ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ شَرًّا يَرَهُ.
After reading the Quran, reciting after my mother in madrasa, and it says, we read from the surah Al-Kawthar, and it says, فَمَنْ يَعْمَلَ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَهُ وَمَنْ يَعْمَلَ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ شَرًّا يَرَهُ.
Yes, أنا كنت حافظ الكريم.
Excellent. Praise God. Just before we go to the callers, Brother Kamal, I want your help with a verse in the Quran, because you're a native Arabic speaker. Surah Al-Maryam, Surah 19, verse 71. Now, here in English, he says, not one of you but will pass over it. But in the Arabic, وَأَنَّ مِنْكُمْ الْأُرْدَهَا وَأَنَّ مِنْكُمْ
وكل منكم وكل منكم وكل منكم
وَأَنَّ مِنْكُمْ
وكل منكم وكل منكم وكل منكم
وَأَنَّ مِنْكُمْ
وكل منكم وكل منكم وكل منكم
وَأَنَّ مِنْكُمْ
وكل منكم وكل منكم وكل منكم وكل منكم وكل منكم وكل منكم.
Did you hear that, Muslims?
And they surprised us, and it was a bloody mission. We went all the way to Afghanistan with the heat-seeking missiles, and we were shooting Russians, bombers. That's when I met the American for the first time who was helping the Mujahideen. The Americans were helping the Afghanis right there in the Tora Bora Mountains. We went to Libya. I trained the South American. We trained the IRA, the Irish. We trained the communists. We trained the Africans. We trained every country right there in the Libyan desert under Muammar Gaddafi. And they surprised us under Muammar Gaddafi. And they surprised us.
An amazing tale to tell. Do you know that he says he's worked for Yasser Arafat, the PLO, Muammar Gaddafi, Saddam Hussein, and the Mujahideen in Afghanistan? And by the way, as you're about to see here in clip number 2, he was also indoctrinated by the Muslim Brotherhood.
I was recruited in the mosque at young age, as many children start attending the mosque in the neighborhood, by the Muslim Brotherhood. The Muslim Brotherhood came to history in 1928. I was indoctrinated by them in the mosque. That was my college study. We were taught how to infiltrate civilization and become part of nations and change the nations from inside. How to marry your daughters and obtain the citizenship. How to join your military and become member of your military so we can get the citizenship. How to become chaplain and spy on this nation and give it to our brotherhood. And how to become part of this world and come across the borders to infiltrate your very civilization today. This is in a nutshell.
So, Kansas City Star sees this, and they're like, wait, let me get this right. Muslim Brotherhood, Arafat, Gaddafi, Saddam Hussein, is there anybody you didn't mention? And they called him, quote, the Forrest Gump of the Middle East.
I called on Allah one day, and Allah didn't answer. And when I called on God of Father Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, God of heaven and earth answered, and I gave my life. A lot of people, that right there we told them about, you've been oppressed, you've been enslaved, this culture enslaved you, and we came here to change you. So I was changing many people in that direction, just feeding more hate, more lies about what I came with. But I never told them that Islam is the only religion today that allows slavery until this day. But anyhow, I had an encounter with Christ, and the Christ, when I was in a car wreck, I broke my neck, and I was injured in bed. And when Christ appeared to me, and he healed my bones, he healed my body. He had holes in his hand, he had holes in his feet, and his name is the Messiah. And I said, I will live and die for you, my Lord. He said, do not die for me, I died for you. He wants me to love the people. And I said to him, I will go and bring them by the skin of their teeth and by eyelashes. He said, don't. The harvest is plentiful, the workers are few. So it was a love message, it was love that led me to Christ. And it was the tangible truth of a God that came and fought for me, not the one who tried to take my blood and destroy me. That's the difference between the two.
He came to America to convert people to Islam, but in 1985 had a horrible car accident. The man who helped him on the road and two doctors changed his life.
And never for once they said, this is because we want to change you to be Christian. They just love me unconditionally.
My story is not different from many other people who are not rich people.
I want to introduce Brother Kamal Saleem. Thanks so much for being here, Brother Kamal.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be on this show, and thank you for this show is Salt and Light tonight.
Praise God.
ود كثير من أهل الكتاب لو يردونكم من بعد إيمانكم كفارا حسدا من عند أنفسهم من بعد ما تبين لهم الحق فاعفوا واصفحوا حتى يأتي الله بأمره إن الله على كل شيء قدير